Contingency Log Number 73, Code Name, The Black Book. No matter the species, no matter the universe, if there was one constant I believe one can find is that every civilization has a leader. But what may differ between them is the means of which someone can claim said position. In some cases, a leader could be elected, chosen by their people through a belief that they are the best candidate for the job. In other cases, a leader is chosen simply by the virtue of their bloodline, a family lineage which rules over a kingdom until their bloodline either runs dry or are overthrown. But in some cases, the leader is chosen by the strongest the civilization has to offer, typically requiring a test of strength where the winner is made obvious. And that is the case when it comes to the target of this contingency. Going by the name Brago, some sources would call his species a Mamodo. However, it would also be accurate to say that they are demons, though unlike most demon species, theirs is far more civilized, and their test of strength for a new leader is rather interesting. Taking place once every 1,000 years, 100 candidates are chosen and sent to Earth, where they compete against one another until only one remains. The final demon standing being the new ruler of their world until the next competition happens. Brago was one of these 100 chosen, and it was made clear from his first appearance that he was a cut above the rest, boasting not only incredible physical strength, even for a demon, but his mastery over the gravitational forces makes him even more of a threat. But in this battle royal of possibly some of the strongest demons their world has to offer, Brago would not be going through this alone. More accurately, Brago would be unable to, even with how strong he may be. In his own world, he is able to wield fierce magic that can unleash devastating attacks. But this isn't happening in his world, it's happening in ours. And during this event, he would find himself under restrictions, a handicap, if you would, that could only be overcome through actual growth. This comes in two forms, the first being the sealing of his magical powers into a book, one which has most of his spells locked away until he can unlock them later. The second being that he can no longer call upon the spells himself, even if he were to unlock their pages. This is because Brago would need the help of a partner, one who can read the spell names of the book. This partner would call upon the spells, which in turn would allow Brago to use them in combat. And in his case, it would come in the form of a woman by the name of Sherry Belmont, a French woman who, while he may have doubted her at first, she'd proved herself time and again to be one of the best partners he could have acquired. Being more than just someone who reads spell from the background, Sherry is not afraid to get her hands dirty, putting herself in harm's way in order to fight alongside Brago, often at times attacking the book holder of their opponents. But she'll also attack the opposing demon should she find an opening, the cane she carries being able to convert into a whip as well, giving her both close and mid-ranged options for attacks alongside reading off spells for Brago. As stated, Brago's magic centers around the control of gravitational forces, and while he may learn many spells, each of them center around this specific form of attack. And with each spell he learns, they'll become more powerful than the last. His destructive force matching his personality, it was this strength he gained through the series that allowed him to reach second place during the Battle Royal. Maybe someday I'll touch on who came in first. Before I get to the contingency, I need to clarify one thing, which is that Brago's story is not quite done yet. While the Gash Bell series ended on 2007, it would get a sequel on 2022. And as of now, the series is still going. As such, I do not wish to use incomplete information, but I will tackle Brago a second time when the sequel series concludes. That said, it's pretty clear he'd bulked up quite a bit. As for now, I believe I have the information needed to make a proper contingency. For the sake of the contingency, we'll assume that I am not someone who wields a book as well. I say this though, knowing my luck, I or someone else in the Bat family will end up getting one. I'm betting on Orphan. Either way, Not having a book would give me the greatest advantage in this situation, as it means I would fall completely under Brago's radar, giving me free rein to plan around him without being given so much as a single thought. That said, Brago is not my target during this contingency. Brago is strong, even when he was younger, and he is capable of taking on a lot of damage before being subdued. I might be able to deal that damage to him. I certainly have the armory to get the job done, but just because I could does not necessarily suggest that I should. While I have praised her strength and combat ability, the truth is that Sherry is Brago's true weakness in more ways than one. If silenced, perhaps a quick hardening adhesive around her mouth, she would be unable to read from her book, severely handicapping them. Removing the book from her possession would lead to the same result, as she would need to be holding on to it while calling out a spell's name for it to work. I once managed to remove Hal Jordan's ring without him, or his ring noticing. I believe myself capable of doing the same for her book as well. And if not, I can simply teleport her along with myself to a new location with the aid of the Justice League Watchtower's teleporter. But my plan can become far more simple than that, and would require a short confrontation. Should I not have a book available, I can forge one to look like that of the other demons. After that, all I'd need is to trick Brago and Sherry into believing that another demon and bookholder has confronted them. Obtaining something that could be mistaken for a demon is actually easier than you would think. If you remember from several contingencies back, I showed that Damien was creating his own team as a countermeasure for Ash Ketchum. Since then, he has continued to catch more. While he states it's to increase his team composition, I'm starting to believe he is just enjoying himself. With that said, giving him a counterfeit book along with the use of one of his Pokemon, we can trick Sherry to reveal her book. It would be at that point where we would attack the book itself, Red Hood prepared with incendiary rounds that can ignite the book on contact. You see, for this battle royal, there is one way to claim absolute victory over an opponent, and that is through the destruction of their book, causing it to ignite and burn away. This burning cannot be stopped. Even submerging it in water will not put its flame out. And when the book is gone, the demon it was connected to will be transported back to their homeworld. And if by chance, Sherry is able to avoid the attack of their book, well, Damien has, quote, been itching for a battle for some time now. If you also have a character you wish for me to cover, or just want to support this channel, I'll have a link to my Ko-fi page. There will also be a Google Doc with the list of characters who have ever been done or already commissioned by others.